What did the Human Torch say before he cooked the beef? Filet mignon. Welcome to Comic Book Editions, Volume 248. It's an all Fantastic Four haul, Part 2, that I have to share with you today. 8 Bronze Age Fantastic Four comic books that I've recently added into my collection. They're published between 1976 and 1983. Plus, I want to talk, obviously, about the new Fantastic Four First Steps movie. Let's get started. I don't want to bury the lead, so I'll say the short answer is I really enjoyed the new Fantastic Four movie. I knew before the opening title sequence that it was already better than the last Fantastic Four movie they made, 10 years ago. Here's Fantastic Four issue 170 from Volume 1. This is 1976 and it has a pretty good creative team behind it. We have Ed Hannigan doing the cover, Roy Thomas was the writer, and George Perez the interior artist. At this time in FF history, Ben Grimm kind of has the best of both worlds. He's not stuck in the Thing Rocky formation 24/7. He can actually be and look like how he used to look before the mutation and the cosmic rays affected him. But he has an exosuit as well that he can step into and continue to fight with the Fantastic Four, still having the strength of the Thing. Power Man is possessed in this issue, and we come to find out who's been possessing him. Apparently some other people have been possessed in previous issues, and it's revealed that it's the Puppet Master, which makes sense why Alicia's kind of in trouble because that's her father and he kind of wants her back. Great cover too. Power Man ends up leaving the Fantastic Four by the end of this issue as well. Let's advance 1 year to 1977 with Fantastic Four issue 188. George Perez doing the cover and interior art for this issue. Len Wein is the writer. So we have Ben, Johnny, Sue, and the Impossible Man versus Reed, who is the Molecule Man. So it's the Molecule Man possessing Reed's body. So he kind of knows, and he points it out a few times in the story, if you harm me, you're harming Reed. You're harming Mr. Fantastic. So they have to figure out how they can stop him without permanently hurting Reed or injuring Reed at the same time too. The Watcher makes an appearance in this issue as well. This is a Fantastic Four issue that jumped from the previous month at 30 cents to this issue being a 35 center. Still only 35 cents. Man, I love seeing those on the cover of my Marvel books. If I see that on the cover of a Marvel book, I'm like, yeah, more than likely that's a book that I'm going to enjoy. I thought the Molecule Man played a great role in the new Fantastic Four First Steps movie. A bigger role than I kind of expected. I kind of expected to see like a little recap of like the events of issue number 1, which we got, but in the long run, without giving you, big spoilers, he was in the movie more than I thought he was, and he played a more critical role than I expected him to play as well. I thought his use in the movie was well thought out and creative. We're going to 194 rather, 1978, another year later. George Perez on the cover. Len Wein is one of the writers along with Keith Pollard and Bill Mantlo. And Bill Mantlo doing the interior art for this issue. First of all, I love the trade dress. I should have mentioned it because it's the same trade dress that, I've already shown in this video, but, the two on one side, the two on the other, the headshots, to me, that is like my Fantastic Four. When I see that trade dress on the cover of a comic book, I'm like, yep, that's one I'm going to like. I'm just going to like it. Diablo's the villain. A mystery man approaches Sue in this issue that we'll later find out is Namor. So no, at least not that I remember, Namor mentions in the Fantastic Four movie, but there was a Diablo name drop. There was a lot of name dropping, a lot of little mini Easter eggs. I really like that about the film. Did I like it more than Superman Returns? No, but I still like this enough that I'd still want to buy it and rewatch it again too. Let's go to issue number 215. This is one that I picked up earlier this month and got this for a big whopping 75 cents. I know it's not near mint condition, but still, for 75 cents, how do you resist it? Ron Wilson is doing the cover for this issue. Marv Wolfman is the writer, and John Byrne interior. So another strong creative team in this Bronze Age era of FF. So Reed, Sue, and Ben Their ages have regressed in a previous issue, and their powers have increased. So they're stronger, and they're learning and testing their limits in this issue, and they're realizing, man, we are a lot stronger than we thought. Herbie makes a very minor appearance in this issue. We don't know it yet, but he's being controlled by Dr. Sun. This is the first appearance of Futurist. So I have some other issues with Futurist in, and after finally reading this issue, I understood where Futurist came from. He was he was a colleague of Reed Richards that ended up, through experiments, becoming much more advanced. So that fleshed out the story a lot for me. Herbie was really awesome in the FF movie. I like that Johnny was always patting him on the head like he's a little dog or something too. But Herbie was cool to see in the movie. I mean, he's kind of essentially supposed to be the humor relief, although the movie wasn't nearly as funny as what your typical Marvel movies are. And that's one thing I think I liked about it. They didn't use the typical Marvel movie formula strategy. They kind of threw it out, and it almost feels like they are making films for the comic book fans now, like me, where before it felt like, oh, we have to explain how this person got their powers or became this character. And when you have all these supporting characters, you have to do all these introductions and stuff. And now it feels just overall like you're just picking up a comic book, opening it up, and you're just enjoying that story. That's the way I like it. You'll figure out what they do, you know? Just keep watching, you'll figure out what happens. Here's an anniversary issue of the Fantastic Four. It's number 236, 1981. We have John Byrne writing and drawing, including the cover, Terry Austin doing the inks for him. There are 41 characters on this cover, including Stan Lee. Originally, Jack Kirby was standing next to Stan Lee, but he requested to be removed. Inside the comic book, there's a key guide so you can find out or figure out who's who on this cover. Also, it was a big whopping $1 at that time. You got the extra pages, you got the extra characters, got the anniversary issue, so you're going to pay a little bit more for it, the 20th anniversary at that time. You get an origin recap in this issue. You get characters like X-Men, the Defenders, the Avengers, Silver Surfer, Spider-Man, and Daredevil all making appearances on the cover. So lots of good stuff in this anniversary issue. And it's one I've known of this issue for a long time. Like, this one's always stood out as one that I wanted to get into my collection. So I'm happy to have taken care of that. We'll jump from 1981 to 1983. It's still all John Byrne here. Annihulus is our big baddie in issue number 251. But do you know that this is Sue's first venture into the realm of the negative zone? So the FF started going to the negative zone way back in Fantastic Four issue 51. But this is the first time that Sue had gone in. So 200 issues later, she's finally going into the negative zone where the others have been in for quite some time. And this, I think this is the first part of a multi-issue storyline. And I have some of the parts of this storyline are in my collection already, so I'm trying to flush it out and complete it all. Issue 254 is another one that's part of the storyline. So once again, John Byrne, 1983 at this time, like the previous issue. Wasp and She-Hulk make appearances. And one thing that I know is when John Byrne likes a character, and you can tell if he likes a character because he wants to use that character all the time. And She-Hulk not only is a character you could tell he liked and ended up working on, but ended up bringing into the FF team as well. At this point, the Fantastic Four has been inside the negative zone for 2 months, but on Earth time, it's only been 2 hours. So nice red background cover, and this era of FF really good as well. And I'm happy. I was trying the best that I could to get so many more Fantastic Four comic books into my collection before the movie dropped, because I didn't know, now that the movie's out, if these are going to start picking up in prices or not. So I was trying to take care of that while I could. And then the final one to show today is issue 255, also from 1983, also John Byrne on everything, Daredevil making an appearance. The story's conclusion is split between Avengers issue 233 and the next issue of this. So before we wrap up talking about the Fantastic Four movie, I wish I had a Galactus popcorn bucket. It was out of my price range, but I thought he was so cool. And I liked how they depicted him. I wasn't necessarily the biggest Galactus fan in the world, but after watching the movie, I got more interested in the character. As a matter of fact, I did a Galactus-themed back issue of the week that just dropped yesterday morning on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked that out yet, make sure to do so. Last week on Instagram, I did 4 Fantastic Four covers. So if you missed that, I'll also leave a link for my IG in the description to this video. What did you think about what I shared? Do you have any of these books in your collection? Did you get any Fantastic Four popcorn buckets or merchandise? Did you see the movie? Let's dialogue about all of this and more in the comment section below, as your comments are welcomed, encouraged, and appreciated. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, now's a great time to do that. It would be fantastic. I'm almost at 950 subscribers, so we are really zeroing into the final push to get up to the 1K. And if you're returning and have been a longtime supporter and friend, I thank you for being back to watch today's video and making it. We're almost to the end. Appearance-wise, if you're watching this video on its original air date of July 29th, 2025, I'm going to be a guest on the 1011 with Gary B., Gary's casual comic guy, Gary B., and we're doing a Bronze Age Females 1011 edition. So I'll be on that tonight. So look for that. If you're watching this video afterwards, it's already been archived and shared on the collaborations playlist folder here on my YouTube channel. We made it to the end of Fantastic Four Part 2 in this Comic Book Editions Volume 248. You know, we're getting close to 250. I might have to try to do something a little bit extra special for that anniversary Comic Book Editions video. So I'll start thinking about that. Fanboys Live and the Retro Review will actually feature Gary B. And we're going to talk about Rima the Jungle Girl this upcoming Sunday, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Central on my YouTube channel. Silver Hair Bronze Age Babe, Signature King Tony Fett, Gary B., special guest, and myself. We look forward to seeing you on that. Have a fantastic, wonderful, safe, happy, healthy rest of your week, and I look forward to visiting with you soon. Take care. Let's get started. I guess I'll start with